Now what?
Hey, what's up? It's me, Gazbot, and we're back for day 42 of 100 days of making comics. And I've got my glasses on. That's right. I don't normally wear my glasses. I normally wear contacts. But yesterday was theoretically and hopefully the last time I'll ever wear contacts again, because this Friday I'm getting eyeball surgery where they shoot lasers in and cut up the cornea and burn my face, and then I am terrible for a day or two, and then I can see. So part of that is I have to wear glasses for the week leading up to it. So these are my glasses. I don't like wearing them. All day I've been thinking, oh, I should put my contacts on. But they're somewhat stylish and a little bit David Tennant-y, if I do say so myself. So get used to this for the next 5 days. And I don't know what I'm going to do when I get my eye surgery, how I'm going to do this. It's possible I might miss a day and have to make it up, but we'll see. I'll try to be a trooper if I can. So today I did 2 hours. And it was about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half of thumbnails, which I did not do a process video of. I did the one yesterday. I'm not sure how well that went. I actually got some positive feedback, but it was very long, and I watched part of it back, and it's at parts I'm looking down and I'm being quiet. So I guess it's good for the people that enjoyed it, but I probably won't do another one of those unless I figure out a better way to do it. And maybe tighten it up a little bit. But I did 6 thumbnails today. I was definitely going faster than I was yesterday, although I also didn't have to get my station ready, so that helped. But I didn't do a process, and they're not much to look at, but I'll put them up anyway. So here's the 6 pages I did thumbnails for today. So that's them. And then for the rest of the time, which was about a half hour to 45 minutes, I did just over 2 hours total, which is my personal minimum, so I'm happy to get back to that at the very least. I did, as I was doing the thumbnails, there's a part where Boots has sort of I'm calling it a DAT stick, but it's sort of, again, like a smartphone, like the future version of a smartphone, like something just a little bit better than what we have. But I was having trouble with the design. Well, I hadn't designed it at all, and I was doing the thumbnails, and I was drawing like a block in her hand. And I realized it's something I would need to design, and I was having trouble because I didn't want to draw something that looked like an iPhone or an Android. But when I was doing other stuff, it looked like crazy, gadgety stuff that would have been in the future in the 70s, And while I appreciate a certain amount of design, I was trying to strike a balance between the two. Anyway, I'll go ahead and I did a bit of a process video. I think it cut out at the end, but I'll throw up what I have right here.
So I thought about getting some reference material, but I decided to just do it out of my head. I thought about wanting to have it be a bit of a cylinder and start off looking a little bit too much like a beta capsule, which was the transformation device from Ultraman. It also looked a little bit too much like a lightsaber. I tried to put little gizmo zim-zams and things all over it. Big buttons, but didn't quite make sense. And it's supposed to be sort of a communications device / little mini computer. Like, again, like the functionality of a smartphone, but different design, maybe a little bit more futuristic, but just less what we have. Then I decided to do a quick hand drawing to help me with scale and placement, thinking that I could draw over the hand, and that would, I guess I'm just saving there, that would help me figure out like a intuitive ergonomic sort of thing. And apparently I was unhappy with the way I drew the thumb there and corrected it a few times, even though it was just for reference. I guess I wanted it more accurate. So there's the thumb again, and then I put the opacity way down so we could barely see it. And then I went ahead and did this one, kind of looked almost like a remote control. I liked the idea of it being narrower on the bottom and wider on the top. And then I was trying to figure out what kind of displays it would have. Decided to put it to the side. Again, narrow on the bottom, wider on the top. That one's almost like a BlackBerry or a Palm Pilot or something. I liked the little triangle on the bottom. And I was trying to think of icons. I put sliders, something that would be different than the normal thumbnails you always see. This just looked exactly like a lightsaber. I don't know what the heck I was doing there. This one I was thinking would be sort of a T would come out the top for the monitor. Maybe it would pop out. Looks a little bit too much like a PKE meter or Geiger counter or something. This one was going back again to a little bit more of the remote control shape, wide at the top. And that is a podcast I was listening to, which I believe was Toku Ladies. I'll put a link to it. Girls talking about Super Sentai and Kamen Rider, stuff like that. So this one I went and was the most like a traditional smartphone, but I thought, well, what if it's a little bit curved and has a projection screen? And then I took that same design with the projection screen, but reimagined it so that it's divided in the middle, uh, kind of like a old flip phone, and accentuated the projection feature a bit more. And I think this is the one I ended up going with. And then I take this one, yeah, and blow it up and clean it up. And it's tough because I want it to look different and semi-futuristic, but I'm also want it to look like a cool design. And all our phones are kind of boring looking, so the next progression of where we would logically go would probably be just a sleeker, smaller, flatter, boring piece of crap. So I take some technology liberties and sort of brought it back to a chunkier, flip phonier thing with a little bit more dials and stuff on it. But my idea is that like that I'm drawing right now is sort of like a speaker, but a really awesome speaker that could like fill a whole room. And the center projects holograms that could, put on walls or whatever. So it's sort of like a way better version of a smartphone than we have. But because it's a next generation technology, the hardware looks clunky because it's the fat, thick, chunky prototype version equivalent of what we had for cell phones or smartphones 10, 20 years ago. This is a next generation piece of equipment, but it hasn't been streamlined yet. So that's kind of the justification I gave for why it looks like a chunky thing that would have been designed for the future in the 70s or 80s. And the real reason is I just enjoy that aesthetic, but I try to give a logical reason why it would look that way too. And I think I have some more projections on top of that. We could have multiple projections. That's it.
So yeah, there's that, and I might do other versions of that in the world, like slightly different versions, like maybe hers is a little bit outdated or just a different model than what other people might have, but that's kind of what I'm going with. And yeah, so that was my day, fairly productive. Other than that, I spent a big chunk of the day taking down Christmas stuff, so it's a little bit sad. It's, for me in my house, officially the end of Christmas. But not quite, because I did get a box in the mail today, which I haven't opened yet, but I'm pretty sure is a last-minute Christmas gift or a gift that was ordered early. It is from Japan, so a lot of times things I ask for are from Japan, and even if people order them in November, I get them in January. So I'm not complaining. I love the last little bit of Christmas. The other thing is, while I was cleaning up the Christmas decorations and putting them all away, and it took a while. It took like 3-4 hours to do that. I mean, I did a little bit of house cleaning stuff in between, but mostly I was doing that. I started off, it's mostly in the living room where we have our TV, and I was going to watch some Ultra 7, which is the second Ultraman series, while I was doing it, but it's all in subtitles, and I was having a hard time reading them, so I stopped that, and I put on some Power Rangers, not Super Sentai, but like American Power Rangers, which I just got done watching Jungle Fury with Q, and I enjoyed that immensely. That was one of my favorite I've ever seen. But I put on the original Power Rangers, which is a little bit harder to get through. It's very dated in some ways, even though it's sort of the classic and, whatever. But I realized I had watched a good chunk of season 1 over the last, year, like really taking my time just when I was cleaning the house and stuff like that. And today I got to the end of season 1 into season 2. And it definitely gets better the longer it goes on. They figure out what they're doing. They rely less heavily on the Japanese footage. But coming into season 2 is when Lord Zed shows up, which is a purely American creation, and Rita gets kicked out, and all the suits change for the bad guys, like same characters but clearly different suit designs and some different actors under them. And the Power Rangers all get their new Thunder Zords and stuff. So it was actually kind of an exciting couple episodes to watch while I was doing depressing taking down Christmas stuff. So depressed to take down Christmas stuff, exciting to see a fun Power Rangers episode, and then I did my 2 hours, and that's pretty much my day. It was a good day. It was a productive day. It could have been even more productive, but I am not complaining. And hopefully tomorrow will be more thumbnails, maybe another design. I kind of like the idea of, if I do have to do a little prop design or a little secondary design for the pages I'm doing, like I'm not going to worry about stuff that's happening in issue 3, but if I'm doing thumbnails on page 10 of issue 1, I'm like, oh, I don't know what that is, which actually has already occurred on one of the pages I thumbnailed, then maybe I'll do those designs so I don't have to just keep showing you thumbnails. So the next couple days should be thumbnails and possibly some designs mixed in, but ideally I'd be done with thumbnails by the end of this week. And then into the weekend, I might or might not be able to work depending on how my eyes are healing. Not that it's terrible, but from what I understand, it's hard to look at a monitor, it's hard to look at a television. So if I need to do work that is digital, it would be difficult to do that. And if I need to upload and edit videos for YouTube, it'll be difficult to do that. So, yeah, it might be out of commission all weekend. I doubt it, and I hope not, but it's a possibility. But I'd like to go into next week starting full-size rough layouts of the pages. I might be a little ambitious, but I don't think it's too crazy. And meanwhile, sprinkle some designs in there here and there. And I think that's going to be it for today. I'm going to call it day 42 because it is day 42. But that means
we have 58 days left. 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 We have 50